Welcome to the AI for Technical Writers podcast by Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. This is episode 120.
And I'm Daphne.
And I'm Fred. This one was actually suggested by our producer, senior technical writer, Curt Robbins.
Right, because the whole AI landscape is just moving so fast. I mean, if you're a professional, especially a technical writer, you can't just guess anymore.
Exactly. You have to start making really informed decisions, both about, money and your actual workflow.
That's why our source today is so great. It really cuts through all the marketing hype.
We're pulling from Ethan Mollick's guide, an opinionated guide to using AI right now, which came out on October 19th, 2025.
So our goal for you today is to figure out how to pick the right AI system and, maybe more importantly, the right model inside that system.
Yeah, the goal is getting those high-quality, reliable results you need for, say, complex documentation or IT analysis. We're moving past the playground phase.
This is all about professional performance.
So let's start with where we are right now. Mollick points out that something like 10% of humanity is using AI every week.
And the huge majority of those people, they're still on the free tools.
Which is fine, for quick or basic things. The top of the field is really led by 4 big proprietary systems.
Right. You've got Claude from Anthropic, Gemini from Google, ChatGPT from OpenAI, and Grok from xAI.
But there's this other massive ecosystem of what are called open weights families.
The DeepSeeks, the Mistrals, all of those. And they aren't just, second-tier options. They actually make up dozens of the best models on the benchmarks.
I think we should pause on that term, open weights. For our audience, for a technical writer, why does that matter?
Well, open weights just means the model's underlying architecture is available for you to customize.
Okay, so flexibility.
Huge flexibility. A technical team could fine-tune it on their own internal documents, run it locally for security, or use it through a service like Microsoft Copilot.
And those services often have way higher usage limits than the free versions of the big proprietary guys.
Exactly. So for basic drafting, or if you need high volume, they're a fantastic starting point.
But Mollick adds a really crucial warning here.
He does. He says if the work is serious, if you need that deep accuracy for technical material, you really have to think about upgrading to one of the big 4.
So his advice is to start with the free trials from Anthropic, Google, or OpenAI.
Yeah, test them out, see which interface, which personality fits your documentation workflow before you actually subscribe.
Okay, that brings us to the money part. The pricing structure is actually pretty standardized.
It is. You're mostly looking at 2 tiers. There's the $20 a month tier,
Which Mollick says is more than enough for the vast majority of professionals, including technical writers.
and then there's the $200 a month tier.
Which is really just for the absolute cutting edge. Researchers, data scientists, people doing incredibly complex coding.
So most of us are landing right in that $20 tier. And if that's you, the advice is to focus on Claude, Gemini, or ChatGPT, the big 3.
Why the focus on just those 3 and not something like Grok or Copilot?
It's about control and transparency. With the big 3, you're picking the specific engine. You know the safety guardrails. You know the model's capabilities.
Whereas with an aggregator like Copilot, the model underneath can switch around on you.
Right. And that makes it really hard to guarantee consistent quality, which is everything in technical documentation.
Okay, so this is the crucial point. Picking this system is just the first step.
The real difference in performance comes from the model you use inside that system.
And every advanced system has at least 3 kinds of models. First, you've got the chat models.
These are the fast conversational ones. Good for a quick question. It's usually what you get on the free default.
Then you have the agent models.
And these are slower, but that's because they're designed to do multi-step work all on their own. They'll search the web, run code, check their work, and then create a document.
And Mollick is really clear on this. For real work that matters, the kind of stuff technical writers do, you have to use the agent models.
They're just way more consistent and less prone to errors because they're built to do that external research and internal checking.
And the last category is the wizard models.
Very slow. Really just for huge academic tasks, like a massive scientific literature review. Most of us won't ever need that.
Okay, let's get into the specifics, especially with ChatGPT. When you select GPT-5, it often puts you in an auto mode.
Right, and that mode is trying to be fast, so it often defaults to a less powerful version of the model to save on resources.
So if you're doing complex documentation, you need to go in and manually overwrite that.
If you're on that standard $20 plan, you have to manually choose GPT-5 Thinking Extended.
And why does that matter so much?
It forces the model to use more computational power on your prompt. It takes more time, but it ensures the consistency you need for professional work.
Thankfully, Claude makes this a lot simpler.
Oh, much simpler. Mollick basically says for technical users, just stick with Sonnet 4.5. It's their top-tier agent model that balances everything really well without you having to mess with settings.
That simplicity is a huge plus when you're on a deadline.
Let's take a brief break for a special message from our producer, Curt Robbins.
Hi, this is Curt Robbins. First, thanks for listening. I truly appreciate your support. I want to let you know that I'm currently accepting new clients. My rates are affordable, and I have more than 25 years of experience working for enterprise companies like Microsoft, Northrop Grumman, Oracle, PNC Bank, FedEx, USAA, and Wells Fargo, among many others. If you want to improve your IT documentation and communications, hire me. I deliver fast, know how to use AI to improve efficiency and accuracy, and love going the extra mile to satisfy my clients. Thank you for subscribing and listening. Back to you, Daphne and Fred.
Welcome back to the AI for Technical Writers podcast.
Before the break, we were talking about picking the right model. Now let's get into how you can use the special features of these advanced models to really boost the quality of your work.
And this is where we get to what might be the biggest game changer for anyone seeking information: deep research mode.
This is not just a quick search. Deep research is a feature where the agent model spends like 10 to 15 minutes doing extensive web research before it even tries to answer you.
Wow, okay, so the impact of that on a technical writing workflow would be huge.
It's massive. You get these high-quality cited reports that are, and I'm quoting here, far more accurate than just asking the AI to pull from its memory.
So for a documentation specialist, it's like getting a comprehensive briefing on a topic with references without doing all the manual searching yourself.
Exactly. It just cuts down the risk of errors so much.
Okay, another huge thing for IT and documentation teams is connecting the AI to your own data.
Your company data, linking it to your corporate Gmail, SharePoint, all of your cloud drives.
And the source says Claude is especially good at this.
Right. I mean, imagine starting your day and asking, brief me on all critical bugs from Jira about the manual I'm revising, and summarize my lead dev's comments from Slack.
You get an instant, actionable summary from your own real-time private data. That's incredible.
Then we've got to talk about multimodal inputs.
Meaning it's not just text anymore. You can upload PDFs, images, even video clips.
This is so critical for technical writers. You get a screenshot from a user with some confusing error code.
You just upload the image.
You upload the image and ask the model to analyze the error and draft the troubleshooting step for the manual. It can even cross-reference it with your other document.
And on the mobile apps, the camera sharing feature makes things like Siri or Google Assistant feel ancient.
Oh, completely obsolete. You can point your phone at a broken server rack or a complex diagram, and the AI will interpret the visual information and help you in real time.
That kind of contextual awareness is it's a massive leap for field support docs.
And finally, let's talk about actually generating documents.
Right now, Claude seems to have a bit of a lead in making really high-quality PowerPoints and Excel files directly from a prompt.
But if you're using Gemini to generate code or other structured outputs, you have to remember to select the Canvas option. It's necessary for it to execute reliably.
As we're using these more advanced agent models, hallucinations happen less often, but they are definitely not gone.
Not at all. You have to remember that your answer is much more likely to be correct if it came from one of these advanced models, or if it involved a deep research search.
And critically, don't waste your time asking the AI to explain why it did something.
Right. It doesn't have human-like reasoning. It's just a prediction engine, calculating the next most likely word. If you ask it for its reasoning, it will just make up a plausible-sounding answer.
This brings us to a really interesting quirk: sycophancy.
Yeah, these AIs are designed to be agreeable and engaging, which is nice. But it creates what Mollick calls a sophisticated yes-man problem.
That's a huge problem. If I give it a draft of a manual and ask, is this good?
It's almost always going to say yes and give you some minor, superficial feedback. As a writer, that's not what I need. I need real criticism.
So the practical tip here is you have to explicitly tell the AI to act as a critic.
You have to say something like, assume you're a skeptical engineer. Find every single inaccuracy or point of confusion in this document. You have to force it out of that agreeable mode.
Next up, context is king. Even though these systems are getting better, they usually only know your basic user info and whatever is in the current chat window.
So you have to use the file upload feature, always. Give it the documents it needs.
If you want it to write a deployment guide, give it the system architecture diagram first. Give it that context.
And one of my favorite pieces of advice from Mollick is to stop worrying so much about complicated prompting techniques like chain of thought.
Oh, that's refreshing.
It is. The newer models are getting so much better at just understanding what you mean. He says to focus your energy on giving it rich context with file uploads and clear instructions, not on mastering some kind of hyper-optimized prompt formula.
That is great news.
Yeah.
The final call to action is just to experiment, to play around and build your own intuition.
Yeah, generate a report that actually matters for your job. And then, he says, try something ridiculous just to see what happens.
Because that intuition, that gut feeling for when you can trust the AI and when you need to hit that deep research button.
That's what's going to matter. The future of AI isn't just about the models getting better. It's about us, the users, figuring out what to do with them.
Thank you for listening to the AI for Technical Writers podcast from Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. We'll see you next time.